partner with Axon, you immediately gain access to a full range of products and solutions designed to meet the complex needs of today's grower. We carry all major brands and sizes of tires and wheels. We specialize in large diameter wheels for large equipment. We have one of the largest OEM replacement wheel inventories in North America. Known for extreme flotation setups, duals, and triples, we have wheels for all makes and models of tractors, sprayers, combines, and grain carts. If we don't have the wheel in stock, we'll custom build, sandblast, and paint in-house. There isn't a more vast inventory in North America dedicated to helping dealers move more iron. With facilities on the West Coast and in the heart of the Midwest, leverage our 230,000 square feet of indoor inventory to solve any problem a grower may have. Move more iron with Axon.
Moving iron.
Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast number 325. This edition of the Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by Tractor Zoom. Tractor Zoom is nice enough to deliver me some pretty nice stats here. So we're going to kind of go over a video that they have here. We're going to talk about the combine market we see happening there and just some year over year trend lines that we see developing, as well as some American Lamb, that's funny, as well as some other things we see developing in that marketplace too. So I think the reason why we want to start with the combine marketplace and move into some other things down the line is that volatility. The combine market is the most volatile thing on the planet. I mean, it is.
Come to me, darling.
It does really well, and you start seeing it kind of smooths out for a minute, but it's like it really mirrors what we see happen in some other marketplaces where you see these huge ups, these huge downs, and everything in between, and you start to see things compress. And as those things compress, combine market is the first market to collapse and the last market to get back its feet. And it's been that way since I've been.
But it did have a hell of a nice 20-day run in 22.
It did. It did that very well.
That was a beautiful month and a half.
Very much so. So I got Andy Campbell here. It's a video that he recorded. He sent it to me, and Aaron and I are going to just kind of commentate on the data that he puts out there. And we'll go from there. So get this. Let me see. Let me share this real quick so we can see it. Everything.
Again, I like to compare the year over year. So we've got for all combines here that are at auction 84, previous December 79. So a little bit stronger. Dealers 120, almost $250,000, and then even a little bit lower here with the dealerships. So this kind of reinforces the story that we've heard from a lot, that the returning supply has softened this market. A more aggressive price decline, and you've been seeing this for months. When you look at this for hours, though, those low hours, less than 500.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Softening of the overall marketplace.
Yep.
I would agree with that. I think
absolutely.
As you look at what we've seen now, we're seeing more combines hit the market than we've seen in the past. I think that if you take a hard look at some of the overarching values that you're starting to see, I don't want to say that listing values have slipped at all. I don't think we're seeing that at all. But I think we're starting to see the number of machines out there where this, the bad part about this marketplace is if you can't sell it in the first 48 hours if you have it,
it's aged.
You must have something wrong with it.
Sorry you had that for a week.
Yeah.
Here's my take on it.
Okay.
Being living, breathing this shit every day.
Right.
He had a big dip in the trend line, October 22, dealer price.
Right.
Late availability.
True.
That's when everything showed up. That's our old custom cutter March Gillette.
Right.
We're that far behind.
Yep.
Now, we're that far behind on combines. There you go. See that chart right there? Your before April dip. Harvester machines.
Sure.
They're all showing up. Oh, man. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. That was a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago.
Right.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yep.
Back then, we were in the still, it's a combine. I don't want to see it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. we follow that trend line up, and even our October 22 dip on that screen is what? $250,000 up.
Sure.
$250,000 up. Simply by market availability.
1,000%. 1,000%. All right, see what we got here.
Not a lot out there for auctions to get this variability in here. The last December auction, those were 334, 345 here. So still a little bit stronger, but again, you got variability, just not a lot of them out there. Dealer, though, those are still strong at 5 versus 412. So a huge relative price increase there. But as you increase on these,
So I think that's a good point he brings up there. When you're looking at the overall dealer marketplace and what that looks like, one is
it's a pipe dream.
1,000%. I agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. I've watched a lot of combines come through there that are.
I like what you're thinking, and good luck to you.
Exactly. I've seen a lot of $550,000 to $590,000 not X9 combines,
Right?
780 combines.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I
not even 790s.
Right. And you start looking at that marketplace. To me, I mean, that's a stretch.
Well, I'll tell you this much: one of our locations that does a big multi-unit combine deal every year, he gets a hold of it. He calls me the other day and he says, "Hey, I got like 5 of these I need to move." And I said, "That's great. Is the first number a 3 or a 4? Well, it's a 5. I said, "Call somebody else." And he's like, "Well, what the hell?" I'm like, there is not a world where that 5 exists wholesale. Dealer to dealer, but not wholesale.
Yeah.
And dealer to dealer only if it's a white horse with a swirled horn on its forehead.
So I think the idea of the $500,000 combine, I'm not saying that is a crazy dream at all. That's not.
I am.
True.
I am. I'm saying it.
I'm saying I disagree.
I also said that I'll never sell a
3.
combine at 3.
Right. So I think as you're looking at what's happening in the combine marketplace, one is there's so much sticker shock.
Oh.
And everything, right? It's not just the price of equipment, but it's the interest rate that goes along with that price of equipment, right?
It's more that than the price of the equipment.
There is so much just overwhelming sticker shock as you see these things pop up that it's going to kind of redefine.
It's going to stagnate the market. It's going to slow it down. It's going to slow it down.
Sure, it's going to slow down.
You're not at the Yale row team in water,
right? You're
maybe in honey or maple syrup.
Well, but I think it's just no one's used to this yet.
Right.
Dealers aren't used to this yet. And if the dealers aren't used to it, sure as hell the customer buying base isn't used to this yet.
Well, yeah, because he goes in and talks to his guy and he's like, yeah, it's 556.
Well, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And it all falls apart. He walked in there to buy that. He's ready to buy it.
Yeah.
His trade isn't a 100 trade, it's 180 trade.
Right.
Because we're going to follow the trend line, right?
Right.
And there you go.
And the other thing, too, from a sticker shock, the other big sticker shock perspective that we're seeing with these customer base, too, is that the trade difference that they're paying to buy up that used one, they probably bought that combine that they have now. They may have bought it new.
Oh,
and
cheaper than that.
And the trade difference is more than what they paid for that machine.
Hell yeah.
I mean, so there's just so much like in their face type stuff they're seeing happen that, yes, there's going to be, especially when it comes to combines, because goddamn combines, I'm just telling you, they are an odd just thing. You know what I mean?
They are the absolute bastard child of the universe.
Metallica wrote that song, Harvester of Sorrow, about combines. All right.
Hours, and again, this is machine hours, not SEP. It's not really until you get, there you got parity. Again, that gray one on the bottom is auction market. 1,500, close to parity. 2,000, a little bit stronger. So you can kind of see there. Once you start to get up there in hours, it could go either way on on how that combine market is doing now.
It was interesting there to see in, I think that was March 21.
Yeah.
The
Saw that too.
dealer price was like 20 grand under auction,
Yeah.
and bam!
Yeah.
Oh, hell, let's fix this.
But when you watch the dealer price all the way through, we'll back this up a little bit just so we can kind of recapture that. But I mean, watching these things work and play with each other here, as we've seen,
it's a month-long correction over the auction.
See if we can find it here again.
Auction did this, so we're doing that.
Right. Should be right here.
Next one, the 1,000 hour.
There was one in here where one of the charts he had, I can't remember which one it was, where everything, the parity was very, very, very good.
Yeah, like
I mean, it
crisscrossed.
It showed to a letter here. We'll just watch it. Just hit play and go.
100, not a lot out there for auctions, so you get this variability in here. But last December auction,
I think
those were 334, 345 here. So still a little bit stronger, but again, you got variability, just not a lot of them out there.
So it's dealer coming up here.
Yeah, still strong.
You look at July 22, it touches.
So a huge relative price increase there.
So that shows you in 22 where that was at, because this is dealership retail advertised data, and this is auction value. Auction value and retail data are just like
the same number,
a few nickels under each other.
Right.
Right. Here's a handful of change. We'll call it even. How's that sound? You know what I mean?
Right. We're asking this.
Yeah.
Well, that's what one brought at auction. I'll take it.
So I got, here's our trade difference. I got 55 cents. We'll call it good. How's that sound?
Right.
You know, and
I'll buy your lunch and get you a coat. We good?
Sounds like increasing these hours. And again, this is machine hours, not SEP.
So this is a 1,000-hour machine. So if you take a look at this right here, look at this parity that you see here. So you see auction data kind of lagging a little bit from what you see happening on the dealership side.
I know, but look at October to January.
I know.
My God.
Right. Yeah, it's a huge dip and it's come back up. This stayed, you can see the dip too. So this kind of goes back to our earlier conversation that we had, the 3 levels of buying. You know, you got the retail side, the wholesale side, and the auction side. Here's what's happening in the retail side, and look what happens on the auction side.
And you know what's funny? If you look at those trend lines, January of 22,
right,
auction got red hot.
Yep.
But it fell off.
Yep.
Dealer,
it just stayed the same. No one changed the price.
No. Dealer spiked it because of the auction value.
Yep.
Look at like March 22 for dealer. Okay. Anytime there's a tick up in the auction number, which there's Mount Everest and Mount McKinley, for shit's sakes, as far as trends go, the dealer doubles back and adds that into the market.
Okay.
You see that? That's why there's that little peak. There's a peak in the dealer market when there's a dip in the auction market. April 22, see it? Right there.
So, but this, back on this side over here, this should have not, this was premature based on this.
The dealer.
Yeah, the dealer.
Yeah.
Right.
That was,
and this was premature based on this.
I bet the dealer peak of December 22 is feeding off of November 1st initial climb.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it kind of goes
year end. Let's bang them out, boys.
Yeah, but look at year end here though. So it'd have been August, September, October.
But that's your correction because you have better availability on hand.
True.
Machines, machine availability, and right now.
But look at this right here.
We sold shit for 18 months off of, hey, you can have it now.
But look at this. October 21.
Right.
October 22. Slightly higher.
Slightly.
That means
and you would think that's a $50,000 jump.
Right.
It's not.
No, it's not.
They're combines. They're there.
So this is my synopsis on this right here. I mean, there's three markets that matter. Auction market is, in my opinion, the most important.
Yep.
Wholesale market is the second most important. And the third most important market of that is the retail marketplace.
Yep.
Right.
I'd agree.
And the reason I think my point is that you bracket the wholesale market.
Yeah.
All right. So you're throwing stones, you throw one too long and you hit the retail market. When you throw one too short, you hit the auction market. You throw in the third one, you know where to land at, and that's the wholesale marketplace.
But if you can throw stones in that chart,
but if you're tracking the wholesale
good job, Phillip Rivers.
If you're tracking the wholesale marketplace, you're right there the whole time.
Yeah.
Right here at the 150 mark. The whole time.
Yep.
Right. Now you're gonna go
Actually,
up and go down a little bit, but I mean
that's literally the number on that column.
You're gonna be right in that range. Okay. All right, what do we got?
Not really until you get, there you got parity. And again, that gray one on the bottom is auction market. 1,500, close to parity. 2,000, a little bit stronger. So you can kind of see there. Once you start to get up there in hours, it could go either way on how that combine market is doing now compared to last year. I did get this broken up on top. So if you're ever curious and want to know, this is the current breakdown by average value. So how big a square is up here is on how these are priced compared to other ones in the market. We didn't just go with market share size because John Deere would dominate the thing.
What did he say there?
This is average value comparison of an average combine that's out there. Fencer, bringing a high value, so they're a little bit larger of a square than John Deere. The John Deere holds that second position compared with Kloss at 221, John Deere at 300. Some of the fence that are out there, not many of them, but 3 3/4
with no steering wheel.
You could even look at that in these hour ranges too.
Okay, so kind of taking a look at that, Aaron. Based on that report you saw on that data you see from Tractor Zoom, what are your thoughts there?
Okay, from the boots on the ground standpoint, could not be more accurate. The dips, the peaks, everything is dialed in to what the market has been.
Mm-hmm.
Back to 30 series sprayers, early 8Rs, early S combines. For lack of a better word, turds are turds. High houred red stuff, orange, blue, doesn't matter. It's all very much in that realm. Now, what it's funny knowing our background and our combine business, harvester machines and all that. You can see different peaks early on. Now, like in the last 9 months, it's pretty steady. I mean, you got some dips in there. We addressed it, the late availability of producer combine. What I noticed on all those charts is the harvester machines, right? When they still hit big gaps, like, oh man, we got 20 combines in, we better prop them up. The market doesn't want a prop. It wants a dump.
It's a flattening,
yeah. It wants a dump. And I mean, just little that's I shouldn't say immaterial, but that's not something that even super dialed in to the used world, used is your life, that you probably look at without those reports.
Sure.
Like, oh yeah, they're getting a little softer. It's a little harder to move a 15,680. Well, that's why.
Right.
There's
plenty of them out there. Yeah, and I think I'd agree with what you're saying. So as I look at that data and I see those things move across the chart, those trend lines that you see developing aren't anything that we have not anticipated seeing happen, and aren't anything that we didn't anticipate see changing. Like, kind of go back to, like we talked about a little bit, you go back to October 21 and October 22, almost identical and the same. I mean,
right,
but totally two different marketplaces.
Oh, Judas,
right?
Like,
but what was the
$100,000 different market?
And the biggest difference between those two marketplaces was
availability.
you did not know when that. I mean,
Right.
there are machines that were getting delivered in October that were supposed to have gotten delivered in May. You know what I mean?
Well, 2 podcasts ago, I
Yeah, we
said
talked about that.
I sold a combine in November of 21 and settled for it last week.
Mhm. Yeah. So,
New one shows up, trade in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my trade in. I'm the 8th in the line for the shop. Here we are.
So I think looking at what's going on in the marketplace, one is combines are setting up that pattern that we've seen in the past where they've had to run. I think that their trend line is going to be down. Again, I would love to see that combines experience that scarcity premium. It was for like a night, you know what I mean? And they really enjoyed that one night.
We went and got a sandwich. What the hell happened?
So I think looking at what we see happen in the combine marketplace, as I look at what's going on, I think we've put in the high and we're starting to kind of trickle down to see what that floor looks like. Do I think the floor is going to be a catastrophic just dump? No, I don't think it's going to be anything like we've seen in the past, but it's still going to be a dump.
People are going to bleed on row crop tractors, and every dealer out there is going to scratch their head and go, "Wow, what on earth?"
Well, I mean,
Pay
think about
attention. It's the market.
it. Pay attention to the marketplace. But here's the deal: whether it's combine sprayers, planters, whatever, 8Rs doesn't matter. Whatever that is. The problem is that there has been we've had a 36-month run, really,
Yeah.
of scarcity premiums.
Right.
Those premiums have gotten a little bit more to where they've crescendoed.
And now it's like we're at an
Yeah.
auction.
We're at 23 now, so now we're like,
They're calling our half.
okay. I mean, sooner or later, Bitcoin takes a dump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you think about it this way. You got a buyer out there that's like, well, I'll buy it for 22 auction price.
Right.
And you're like, I ain't taking that. Look at 20 auction price.
Right. Oh yeah.
And then revisit that, sir.
Right.
Because you'll be like, yes. I will buy you lunch. I'll send your family to Disney World. What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, if you play the game, I mean, if you look at, if you just assume that there's a 10 to 20% premium built in, depending on what the product is because of scarcity,
Right.
What is out there. The numbers we're talking about today, we're talking between 50 and $100,000
In a blink.
You know what I mean? So I mean,
I know that's so gross.
But here's the thing about that is it's a slow. This is the difference about this marketplace comparatively.
It sucks.
It's a slow erosion.
Oh,
right. You know what I'm saying?
The downside is slow.
It's very slow, and
the upside was overnight. Yeah, right. It's going to offset.
Whereas in the past, the upside's been a slow, gradual climb. And then, it's the exponential climb up.
Do you remember in 2010 when corn was $5? Now it's $7. Holy shit.
Yeah. And $7 corn today is the new $5 corn.
Yeah.
So, but you had this exponential climb like this.
But we got that carryout report. We're going to have like $70 corn here pretty soon.
But the auction market, the equipment market was like this.
Yeah.
And then it stopped right here and they're like,
exactly. Right?
Or at least like in the past, like 2000,
gradual
through 2012, it was gradual and it kind of went like this. And the problem with that is that the rocket didn't shut off.
No.
In 2010, like it should have, it just kept going. And it went way off the ramp.
Yeah. You got guys buying, they had new ordered 13s, and it's like the bottom is out.
Yeah.
Can't wait till we get these back in. That's going to be a bad discussion with that guy specifically.
That's exactly right. So this difference here is that this erosion is going to be a slow, in my opinion, slow erosion. It's going to be easy to see. You're going to recognize, you're going to adjust and make those things happen. Now,
we got the charts.
Yeah. So I think watching those trend lines develop and grow and those kind of things are all going to play into what we're looking at here. But all that being said is, the one thing I want to pay attention to as I'm watching this is where's retail value at? What's the retail ask price? And what's the auction value?
The gap.
That gap in between. If it gets, in my opinion, this is me talking. If that spread gets more than 25%, you've absolutely made I just think you're asking for trouble there.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
I'd agree.
All right, man. Good place to stop. Aaron, folks want to reach out to you, get more information about what it is you got to happen. What's the best way to do that?
By my name, Aaron Fintel, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat. That's a big thing in the ag world. Email aaron.fintel@movingironllc.com, or best bet ever, text me 308-760-1193. Up a lot of hours. I don't care. Shoot me a text.
Right on. Casey Seymour, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Moving Iron LLC, LinkedIn at Moving Iron Podcast. Checked out the video version of this at the Moving Iron Podcast YouTube channel, which is Moving Iron or just Moving Iron Podcast YouTube channel. So check that out. Go to the website, movingironllc.com, and you get all the information about everything you want to know Moving Iron related. So with that, I'm Casey Seymour with Aaron Fennell. Sweet Smart folks. Special thanks to the guys at Tractor Zoom for sending this stuff over to me. So check that out. Give those guys a holler over there. And look, check out their iron comps as well. So with that, Casey Seymour with Aaron Fennell, Smooth Smart folks, out.
Moving iron in the 21st century.